Is this good, or is it dead still? I mean, I can't even tell if it's working from here. Is it working? Because the natural voice deputy is just, I don't want to state their objection for them. I think what we're talking about, and if we have a copy, we have a copy for it.
Okay. This is going to be something. Here you go.
2021 through 2912. Their objections are on the right, Your Honor. I think we've already argued, well, I don't know if we've argued you've had this. We probably didn't get to it the other day.
Our objection would be how Ms. Cole felt about the video is irrelevant. She's not the case. She's not a plaintiff. She's not a defendant. This issue is about how Mr. Valea felt in this case, not about her. It's likely to confuse the issues for the jury and be unfairly prejudicial because she's not a party to it. She will find this claim then that might be her issue, but certainly not Mr.
I think that's a weight argument, not an admissibility argument. The bottom line is throughout our instructions we talk about things that would offend a decent person. I think the idea that someone else was on the tape can't be lost, whether that person's a our client is doesn't confuse. She's not suing for anything. What it does do, Judge, is it corroborates an emotion that will dovetail directly with any number of jury instructions in this. I don't really know where any unfair prejudice is, or as my evidence professor used to say, prejudice doesn't mean it's unfair prejudice. Generally speaking, you're always putting evidence on that would prejudice the other side. So I just don't see any of that. I think it's very clear, short testimony. It's not embellished to any degree.
Right. I mean, there will certainly be good testimony, and there will certainly be bad testimony for us, and some of it comes through her. This would be prejudicial precisely because it's going to take the jury down a path that's irrelevant to the case. In the context of this case, what she felt is not an issue, and it's only going to confuse me. She is not Mr. Valea. She's not the reasonable person.
Yeah. That it's only 9 seconds, and therefore it's nothing.
Two of those, man doesn't even play during Mr. Valea's direct. They're edited versions of what are already submitted to the court. So what we maybe do is call those by their number and put an A next to them and provide Randy with an electronic file. Just a disk.
I don't think that helps.
It's an audio.
All right, so is Mr. Valea's testimony then following this definition?
Yes.
Is the order? Okay, great. So we go ahead and bring in the jury.
Your Honor, just one point. I think we alluded to this the other day when we first started talking about deposition designation. This will be the first one that it occurs with. There's some of these witnesses who are playing the full testimony in plaintiff's case. For others, like Ms. Cole, there's substantial amount of testimony.
I don't know if we need to dim lights. We haven't tested that dynamic yet here.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you bringing it up on the screen? On both?
It's coming on this screen here, right?
And that one, I think both of them do.
So let's see if we need to dim the
If you
light.
could just ask the jury once it gets up if they need us to lower some, we can perhaps adjust it.
And please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you'll provide is the truth, nothing but the truth. Did you know Mr. Clem's reputation prior to meeting?
On the radio, yes.
And what was your impression of him?
We'll start.
It was rude.
Just check with the jury and see if go in. All right, thank you, Your Honor. It's hard to understand.
And please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you'll provide is the truth, nothing but the truth.
That's correct, yes.
Did you know Mr. Clem's reputation prior to meeting him?
On the radio, yes.
And what was your impression of him?
He was rude.
What was your impression when you met him?
He could be very charismatic and funny.
Kind of bonded over that.
Yes.
How long was it that y'all dated prior to getting engaged?
Off and on for about 4 years, I think.
Did y'all live together before you were married?
Yes.
For how long?
About a year.
And just if I remember what you had said earlier, you got married. You moved in together. Y'all started living together sometime 2006.
Approximately.
Where did you live when y'all lived together?
In his house.
So this was a house that you lived in.
Prior to your marriage, did you invite sexual relations with people other than you and Bubba Clem?
Occasionally.
Do you refer to that as an open relationship or another term?
For the purpose of this, I can refer to it as an open relationship.
And then when you were married to Bubba Clem, did you have an open marriage in the same context that I just described?
Yes.
Describe what Mr. Clem is like as a person.
He can be fun, funny, giving, loving. He can be equally manipulative, selfish, intimidating, and hurtful.
Tell me an example of him being intimidating.
He could be very loud. He could be very aggressive in the manner that he talked to someone. If he was angry, he would continuously berate you. Until you did what he wanted. Whether it was in the privacy of your own home or publicly.
You had mentioned earlier that during Bubba's radio show, he talks about his personal life. When he talks about his life on the show, is he being truthful?
Sometimes.
But other times he's not.
Correct.
When you listened to his show, how could you tell if Bubba was being truthful?
I didn't know all of the time unless I was personally involved in the situation he spoke about.
So even when you were married, you couldn't tell whether, or one way or another, whether he was being truthful on the air at times?
Most times, no.
Were you aware that there were cameras in the house?
I have been told there were cameras outside the house. I was aware of a security camera inside the house.
Were you aware that there was a security camera inside the bedroom?
That's where it was.
When was that camera installed?
On or about the year that Julie and I moved in to the house.
Why was it installed?
Bubba had told me that his attorney said it might be a good idea to have a camera in case something ever happened.
Inside your bedroom?
Correct.
What was he concerned about?
I know he had valuables in a closet in the bedroom.
Do you know who installed the camera?
I'm pretty sure it was David Rice.
The David Rice who worked at Bubba's show?
Correct.
Did it concern you that somebody from the show was installing a camera in your bedroom?
Dave worked for Bubba. It just seemed to be the way it was.
Was it unusual for one of his employees to be doing work at your house?
No.
What kind of stuff would they be doing?
If he needed errands run, sometimes they would come over to help with housework. Whatever Bubba asked, most of those employees would do.
Did anybody other than Dave Rice know that you had a camera inside your bedroom?
I don't know.
Do you know whether Bubba ever told anybody that there was a camera in your bedroom?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware one way or the other?
No.
Sorry, no.
I'm not aware if Bubba ever told anyone that there may have been a camera in our bedroom.
Do you know who knew how to operate that camera?
Other than maybe Bubba, no.
And I take it from what you had indicated earlier in talking to Charles that you didn't know how to use the camera.
No.
After the lawsuit was filed, did you hear Bubba talking about it on his radio show?
Yes.
What do you recall from that?
Dramatic banter.
Do you remember him going off on Mr. Balea?
He said some very not nice things.
What do you recall him saying?
Being threatening to Mr. Balea.
When you heard Bubba talking on the radio, did you think the things that he was saying were true?
What things specifically are you asking me whether or not I knew was true?
The nasty things he was saying about Mr. Balea. You can still go ahead and answer.
Some things Bubba was saying might have been true. Some things were not. What I recall, it was just hatefulness. Was what he was saying true? I don't know.
What was your reaction when you heard Bubba talking on the radio?
I was afraid that he would start talking about me.
In your experience, when Bubba goes off, like he did on Mr. Balea in this lawsuit on the radio, why does he do that?
Damage control?
What do you mean?
Trying to support whatever his stance is in a particular situation.
And I take it sometimes what he says is true and sometimes what he says is not.
Correct.
Earlier when Charles was asking you questions, you said that sometimes it's hard to know what's real and what's fake with Bubba.
Correct.
Does that extend to his life off the radio as well?
Yes.
How so?
One day, he can tell you how wonderful you are and how much he loves you and how much you mean to him. And the next day, he can completely ignore you, berate you because there's no eggs in the refrigerator. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes to his over-exaggerated behavior.
At some point in time, when you knew Mr. Balea, do you recall that either yourself or Bubba Clem raised an issue with Terry Balea that possibly you and Mr. Balea would have sexual relations?
I was asked if I would by Mr. Clem.
And can you describe that conversation?
I don't recall the specific details.
Bubba Clem asked you, and do you recall what your answer was?
I said I would.
To the best of your knowledge, did Bubba Clem ever inform Mr. Balea that a sexual encounter that you had with him had been filmed?
I'm not aware of any conversation.
Is it correct to say that you had nothing to do with the distribution or release of a sex video involving you and Mr. Vallejo?
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge regarding who was involved in releasing the sex video between you and Mr. Vallejo to media or anyone else?
No.
Did you ever talk to Bubba Clem about who potentially was responsible for the release of the video?
No.
Did you talk to anyone else about who potentially was responsible for the release of the video other than lawyers?
No.
In October of 2012, Gawker.com posted a 1:41, I call it a highlight reel, of the sex video. Did you learn of that in October 2012?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Do you have any knowledge regarding how Gawker came to possess the sex video?
No.
Do you know if Bubba Clem had anything to do with it?
I don't know.
Did you have anything to do with it?
No.
To the best of your knowledge, Mr. Vallejo had no idea that there was a camera in the room at the time of your sexual encounter. Is that correct?
Yes.
There was no camera that was visible in the bedroom at the time of the sexual encounter. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of.